Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about a sensitive topic, but it's something that scares me as I get older, especially for my friends and family, and I think there's something to really learn from this story. So this is a burger horror. Man 57 stabbed himself to death in a freak accident while separating two frozen burgers with a knife, inquest told. What happened here is, this was a man who was living by himself, and him trying to separate frozen burgers, he basically put the knife to his stomach to separate the burgers, and he stabbed himself trying to do it. What I worry about as I get older, because I've seen it happen, I live in a building full of elderly people, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I see them as they get older, they struggle and they live alone. For example, I have this older gentleman who used to live next to me. I walked outside one day and his doorknob was on the ground. Literally, doorknob on the ground. So I go to work, I'm gonna be honest. I go to work, I think everything's okay. I come back from work and his doorknob is still on the ground. I knock on his door because this is somebody I see like up and down the stairs, you know, cordially. He knows me. He's like, hey, what's up? You know, what do you want? I tell him like, your doorknob is on the ground. Can you open the door? Can you open the door? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I can open the door. I was like, open the door right now then, just to make sure, because I have elderly people in my family and that's something that worries me. Them just being left alone and nobody checking on them. So I'm checking on him. I'm asking him to just open the door. He's like, I'm trying to open the door. I can't open the door. I call the super. The super tells me he never got keys to the man's house because he's been living there for so long and the super is like newer. He never received keys. It was like super confusing. So I call the fire department and the police to like do a wellness check. When the police come to do a wellness check, he's not opening the door for me. He's not opening the door for the police. So the police then get the fire department. The fire department basically break down his door to get him out. When they break down his door, they have the ambulance there. They finally get to talk to the man. And as they're talking to him, one of the ambulance people is like, oh, you know, you're basically not well right now because you can't come out of your own house. He can't take care of himself, basically. And his house, when they went inside, it was like a horde. And it smelled and it was awful. But this is the thing that hurt me the most about this. When he's talking to the ambulance people, he tells the ambulance people, if I go with you, I may never come back home. And that's the truth. Like, he's older. He can't take care of himself. The moment he's taken, adult services take him and it's over. I worry, but I have other people that live on their own. I have older people in my family. I have older friends that live on their own. And I worry about them. Not saying they're going to stab themselves to death, but I think as you get older, you really need to have a community of people that you can always come to and connect with. Like, even if it's like a random group chat or people that you know will check on you or like ask about you or just so you don't feel alone. And that's something that, like, as I get older, I worry about. Not saying I'm some loner or something like that, but it's more like I know what it's like to feel lonely and I know what it's like to want to be alone for long periods of time and not be bothered. There's simple things like this, like you don't have to stab yourself in the stomach. There's ways you can go about feeding yourself. There's ways you can go about taking care of yourself where it's less risky, and having a community of people out there is good. Having the tools at your disposal is good. Having regular doctor visits, checking on your mind, checking on your health, like having, like, if I'm alone, I'm gonna be real with you. There used to be times when I was alone and I would make sure to text people or call people every few days just to make sure, like, my mental sanity was okay. So I would talk to another person. And on top of that, just so, like, people know I'm okay and I'm not just disappearing. Because there would be times I would, like, disappear off of social media and people would be worried. I'm gonna give you another example. I moved from Buffalo to New York City and I was in a situation where, like, I was moving back in my mother's house. I couldn't take all the stuff that I gathered from Buffalo to my mom's house. There's not enough space in her house. So I started giving stuff away. One of my friends called me because I gave him something that I won. It was a cooler. It was like this really cool cooler that you can like put beer in. It was something that was like my prized possession. I love this thing. I took it with me everywhere. Like beach, anything we needed to do, we did that with that cooler. I give him the cooler and he's like, yo, bro, you trying to delete yourself or something? And I'm like, no, like, I'm moving back in my mom's house. I just can't take it with me. But like that level of understanding from a friend of like, yo, bro, are you okay? Is everything okay? Is something that you need. But this is just from my perspective. And this is a story that's been on my mind for a really long time. I just wanted to come like from the heart. This is something that doesn't only affect his family. I do feel like it affects a big portion of the world if you think deeper on it, because people are living loner lives more often than not. And how often do you see people die alone than you see people die with somebody they love, or die near somebody they love, or somebody they just like being around? You don't gotta love the person. Like, you genuinely like being around somebody, like one of your good friends. So I'm gonna just read the story, and then we're gonna touch on some other topics related to this story. A man stabbed himself to death while trying to separate 2 frozen burgers with a knife. Inquest heard. Barry Griffiths, 57, was killed when he plunged the blade into his stomach in a freak accident. I feel so bad. I can't. The thing, okay, I'm gonna be a little more imaginative here before we go into the story. The thing about stuff like this is, I've been in situations in extreme fucking pain. My mind is going crazy. When I was ice skating one time, I got into it's like, I guess, a freak accident, and an ice skate basically cut over my finger, and you could see the bone into my hand, and my tendons were separated from my finger. I'm leaking blood on the ice, like leaking blood on the ice. I'm there with my younger brother. It was like Christmas Eve, like something cute, something nice to do with your family. Bro, I'm leaking blood. All I could think about in my brain is, I need to take care of my brother. I need to make sure he's okay. While I'm leaking liters of blood. Like, the guy in there's like emergency services in ice skating rinks, and they like wrap you up real quick before they send you on an ambulance or send you away. And he's like, you can't move your finger anymore. You're gonna need emergency surgery. He says to me, I can see your skin getting pale. You're getting pale. Like, you're losing too much blood. You're getting pale. And I mean, from losing blood, and pale from fucking being scared, being told all that shit. Thing is, I need to take care of my brother. I'm in pain. I'm in constant pain. I need to take care of my brother. Those kind of thoughts, I can't even imagine when somebody's in a situation like that, lying on the ground, and you just stabbed yourself. It's extremely scary, yo. He was discovered days later by police, who were baffled by the trail of blood around his kitchen and bedroom. Officers then established the frozen burgers were behind the tragedy when they noticed them on the kitchen counter. The knife and a tea towel were also found nearby, and the bottom drawer of the freezer had been left open. An inquest was told Barry died from a stab wound at his home in Powys, Wales. The court heard he lived alone and supported living accommodation and was a very private man. Police arrived at his home in July last year amid concerns. Barry hadn't been seen for more than a week. They discovered him dead on his bed with blood in the hallway, bathroom, and bedroom. The court heard there was no sign of a disturbance, and his wallet, computer, and phone were not missing. So that means he stabbed himself and was able to crawl around his house. I can't imagine the fear this man felt. It disturbs me to think you're alone, you're in immense fucking pain, you literally have blood gushing from your stomach. All you're doing is crawling around the house, probably searching for his phone, probably searching for some kind of communication. It sounds like he just crawled to his bed and just, sorry to say, like, accepted it. Detective Sergeant Stephen Vaughn said he was satisfied that Barry's death was not a suicide, but more of an unexplained death. There was also no indication he had been assaulted, the inquest heard. The coroner, Patricia Morgan, concluded Barry, who had restricted use of one arm following a stroke, most likely died from an accident while preparing frozen food for cooking. She told the inquest, I appreciate the evidence is difficult to hear and traumatic. Thank you for your patience while the investigation was ongoing. I express my condolences at this difficult time. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for Barry. I'm sorry for his family. I'm sorry for any of his friends that had to come across this. How many people are found dead and eaten by their pets? Like, that's something, especially nowadays with all the technology we have. This does not have to be you. I'm not saying you as in Barry. I feel bad for you, my friend. But you as in the greater world. Like, you don't have to be in a situation where you're left alone to die. Even though you're a private man, I know there's mental disabilities out there. I know all that other stuff. Have a point of contact. There should probably be something built into a government resource that if you don't contact people every 2 days or every 48 hours, they come check on you. Or if you don't answer your phone after a certain time, they come check on you. We're gonna check out a Reddit post about the same topic just to see how other people are reacting to the same situation. I can see that he only had use of one arm. He cradles the patties in the unusable arm against the body and pries between the two patties upwards with a knife. Using his good arm, the knife slips into the body, a tragic freak accident. Yeah, I worked in fast food. The best way to do it, you can defrost your burgers, you can smack them together, you can slam them on a counter. That's not hard to defrost burgers. He did not have to die to that. I've absolutely stabbed myself trying to separate frozen burgers. Enough people have had this problem that it could be the first 10 seconds of an infomercial, just a montage of people stabbing themselves, prying frozen burgers apart, spraying their kitchen floor with blood. That should be an infomercial. Do not have people do that. I worked at McDonald's as a kid. We slammed the stacks of patties against the edge, separated easily. I also worked at McDonald's as a kid. It's much louder on my kitchen countertops, but no stab wounds. Butter knife, tip and twist. I have cut myself many times doing this. I will have to be more careful after reading this sad story. Let me know your thoughts below on this story. I know this is something a bit different from what I do, but this is something that has been on my mind for the past few days. Honestly, it's been on my mind for like over a month when I first read this in September. If you're out there and you're a loner, find a system, find a community of people that you can talk to. Okay, there's nothing wrong with having a point man. There's nothing wrong with having somebody that is only there just so you can text. You might hate people. I understand that. I've been there. I've done that. But you still don't want to be left alone to the point where you're found weeks later. That's where I want to end the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys later. Peace.